we have sound, Buck? Looks like we do. All right. Looks like we got some sound. Welcome, my friends, to the bait shop. I'm Frumpy Buckle, and you're Fishkin with Buck. This week, we're off Missouri. We're going to be talking a little bit about Missouri. Mudwater, and specifically, to be specific, actually, Mudwater is the first chance in the game that you get to utilize some drift fishing techniques. This is our first river. Texas, we had a pond. Czech Republic, we had a pond. This one here, we got part of a river, but it's a river. We have flow, decent flow in this river. So a lot of different techniques you can use. Because there's not a lot of places really for the short bit of river that we have, it's not too bad. We've got some spawn in joints. I think we got 3 spawn in joints. What are they called there? I have them listed here somewhere. Drop zones, the Lost Songs of Summer, the Pike Challenge, and Catfish Heaven. So we got 3, but we got some paths that we can walk up and down the bank. So, and there's 14 fish here, 14 different species. So there are some fish in here, mostly panfish. Now we'll talk about them. It's a level 4 waterway. Cost you $1,200 for travel, and what is it, $400 for the license, I believe. Yep. So $1,600 in all. So you only got to make $1,800, $2,000 to make a profit. Not too bad. I didn't check out what's the biggest fish. We're not going after big fish. So I wasn't real worried about, do we have the right gear for this stuff? Lightweight stuff. Lightweight gear here. This is a fun little waterway. You get to challenge yourself a little bit with, I like what they did. They didn't give the beginners a big massive river for your first. Of course, they could have done a little better with it. And we're getting there. I'm going to go up the line, so we're eventually going to get there. But, yeah, the most boring one of all, poor Netherlands. But we're going to get there. We'll get there eventually to the old Get Bank Canal. But I think this river here even has probably a little more flow than that one. I know, they're about the same. So, it's smaller fish. Let's see what you got there. Did you want to talk about anything? Oh, the comps that go through here. They used to do a spring, what was it called? The Spring Cats Tour. I guess that kind of got replaced along the way with the World Cats Cup that we do now. It's in the springtime. I guess that's just finished. We had that in March. April was supposed to be. I don't see anything about anything about no spring cats. Anyway, they got 3 competitions that run down there. There's one going on right now. Is the big bowfin hunting. Your registration actually closes at 8 p.m. Eastern time here on our beach on this side of the island. Competition starts at 8, so it goes tonight from 8 to 10. So that's the biggest amount of stringers only. Stringers are a must, and no rod stands. So 1 pole and a stringer. And it's the most bowfin you can get. So that one's going on. School bass they have here on this waterway. The next one of those that's up is on the 29th of this month. And then Cheesy Cat is another one that they do here. And that next one, I believe, is in the 1st of May. Somewhere around 3rd or 4th of May. Somewhere right in there. So that's your competitions that run here. Let's talk a little bit about the fish. We'll talk about the fish. All right. Up there. I think we got one up there. Now about the fish. There we go. That looks pretty good. Alrighty. You don't got the fish starting where it's supposed to. That's a blacktail shiner. Largemouth bass, catfish. Oh, I bet this is on random too. Oh, lovely. Well, that kind of blows everything I was going to do. All right. Well, since that's done that, see, I didn't get everything. I didn't get everything set up right, but all right. Let's just go change it. Fish, because that's gonna mess everything up. If I don't change it, and it is on random. We don't want it on random, and we want it on manual, which is all right. Let's try that on for size. There we go. Now we're set. Because I got my hook pattern up there. I want to talk about it. So black bullheads. That's number one on the list for these guys. Okay. Now they say number 4 to a 1/0. Okay. I'm in agreement with that. I'm not gonna argue that point at all. See if we got them set right. Should be blacktail shiner next. Yay. We got him. All right. I'm in sync. All right, blacktail shiner, folks. They're telling you number 8 hook for this guy. 6 or 4, not a problem. 6 or 4. That's what I'd go with. Now bluegills, number 8 to 2/0. Well, yeah, that's a bluegill, but not on this waterway for 2/0. That's for sure. We're not going there with that. And this is the only fish on Mudwater. The only uni we get is the uni bluegill. Everything else is either trophy, common, or young. So that's our story with that guy there. Then there's this little bugger that we got here, the blunt nose minnow. And they're telling you number 10. Probably should have had the baits running here too, but we'll talk about that later. I wanted to talk about these hooks. Well, let's just get them. There you are. That'll work. Put the baits up there too. They better be rolling automatically. I was messing around today with things, and of course I shouldn't be playing with the buttons. All right. So, baits for these guys. It'll flash up there. Basically, this is, we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll bounce off of them, but it'll give you an idea of what's coming. Alrighty. So we're down to the booth, down to the blunt nose minnow. Number 6, guys, you can catch him on. All right. And then we got the bowfin. Okay, 1/0 to 6/0, depending how these bowfin here aren't quite as big as the ones down south, further south. You get down there that we're getting blue crab and that neck of the woods. Not so bad though. Not so bad. And you know, they bite on everything. They're a garbage can. So 1/0 to 6/0, not a problem there. We got chain pickerels in this one here. 2/0 to 5/0 on your chart there for the chain pickerel. Channel cats. Now the channel cats. Number 2s. Number 2, believe it or not, up to a 7/0. This waterway, 1/2/0. That's where you'll see almost everything you catch here. You can get away with a 1/0 hook. 1/0 hook for any of the your pike, your bass, that kind of that stuff. And as far as your smaller panfish go, I usually just either number 4 or number 6 will do the job. I mean, if you're really after the blunt nose minnow, you could drop down to the 6, but I wouldn't budge off of a 4 for everything else. And as we'll get over there, we'll take a look at my sticks there. I kind of rig them up with a little bit of everything different, just because. Give me something to talk about. So next after the channel cat, guys, is we got the common shiner there. Number 8, they say, again, 6 or 4, does the job just fine. Freshwater drum, 1/0 to 5/0 for those guys there. 1/0 will do your job here. 2/0, you can go up to, I've actually, you can go, some of the spinners here I use, like there's a 1/2 ounce 3/0 spinner. He does real well. For the pickerel, you can catch your trophy pickerels on that guy, and a largemouth bass. I mean, you can go up to that 3/0 if you want to, and go after the big guys. For your overall, what I'm telling your overall average to catch you just about everything. You can stay in the middle of the road. Is all I'm saying, and you're safe across the board. What's next on our list? I think there's one fish in here I didn't take out of here that I knew wasn't in here, but I went down the list and stupid wiki said it was in here. I knew it wasn't. But They said it was. I added it in there. I think it's probably in there. All right, what do we got next? That guy there looks like a grass pickerel to me. So we're looking at 1/0 to 2/0 for those. 1/0 to 2/0 for the grass pickerel. And then we should have the sunfish. So we got a green sunfish up there again. Again, they say number 10s for them. You know, stick with your 6 or 4s. Largemouth bass. That's the next guy. Now these guys, depending on what waterway you're on, they only stayed. They stayed in the wiki for a number 4 up to a 4/0. Well, you can catch largemouth bass in Florida and in Mississippi 5/6 easily. I fished for my bass in blue crab with a 5/0. That's the start. That's not even going after the big boys. All right. So what's next on our list then here? Oh, I believe that's probably the pumpkin seed. Number 10 up to a 6. 4 will do the job. Okay. White crappie should be our next item. There's that spotted. I don't know why the spotted gar's in there. It's not even in the game. But it's in our wiki. It's got to be on fishermen. Fishermen in this river. Because the fisherman has mud water. So that's where the spotted gar. By the way, if you want to look at him, because we don't have him in the game. That's the spotted gar. I should have picked up on that right away. Fisherman. So there's our white crappie. Get number 4s. They say 8 up to a 1/0. Now you can get some big crappie. Get our unis. Get this one. You're not on this waterway, but 1/0 easy. 2/0. 1 or 2/0 for some of these crappies with small minnows. That's a good hook up there, without a doubt. All right, so that's kind of our fish, right? That's what we're going after. Hook size and all. We got the baits running there. Let me run the lures up there for you. We'll get them running too at the same time. Now our baits, small minnows, shrimp, and shrimp. Bowfin love that shrimp. They really do. Bowfin, the black bullheads will eat that shrimp. So it's good to have in your backpack. I'm gonna bring some shrimp. All your cut baits, your small, medium, and large cut bait. You want to have that. That works across the board down there. Your red worms, shiners. Now a lot of people bring flies. I don't mess with flies mainly because they're too small to put on a damn hook. They're a pain in the butt. So I don't normally fish with flies at all. I may take some flies with me once in a while if I'm going to Rocky or Falcon for trout, but normally I don't pack them. I mean, I always have them in. A lot of times I take them out of my backpack if I'm getting tight. Flies are the first thing to go. To me, crickets do the job better. A little bit better, move around a little bit more, look a little tastier as a meal. I mean, who wants to eat a fly? All right. Bloodworms you want. Make sure you got some bloodworms, leeches, pet food. Again, that's one of those ones, the pet food, leave it at the house on the bowl for the cat, as far as I'm concerned. Semolina. Want some of that, some dough ball, maggots. What else is on there? Mayflies, grasshoppers. My favorite, crickets, is always down at the bottom of the list, but I'll take crickets over any of these insects, except the grasshoppers, depending on what you're fishing for. Grasshoppers may take a precedence over crickets once in a while, but not too much. Crawfish cut. That had to be. That had to be for that goofy spotted gar. Bread. Bread works good on all your panfish. I tend to like it with the bread. I have it baited up on one, I think on my Omni float here. The bread with honey. Bread with honey works for all your little panfish here. The sunfish. Crappie. Crappie like it too. I go more. I fish for bigger crappie, so I like the small minnows if I'm going down to that. Small minnows and crickets. The crappie. That's my favorite. Okay, where are we at there now? That takes care of all that. Let's take a look at some of the lures that they talk about. Now, unfortunately, where I get a lot of the data that I provide you guys with comes from the fishermen, the people who post. And I look all over the place to see who's catching what where and what and on what. And unfortunately, we don't get a lot of guys that once they level up and they can get other gear, did they ever go back to these waterways and record some catches on different gear. So all of your data, if you're looking at Fishing Planet Collective, that particular one, I use a lot more than just them, but I kind of start there. It gives me a good, because a lot of people put in there. Unfortunately, once they move on, they don't come back and they don't fish the waterways and post more stuff. I try to post anytime I go back to a waterway if I catch something worthy or I catch something that's not in the norm, I try to post it. And so that gives a little different perspective because I'm going back to some of these smaller waterways as a higher level player with obviously different baits and equipment and of that nature. So what we get a lot of is the lures that are available at level 3 and level 4. Well, that's what all the catches are on. Of course they are. And you'll see that there. It's going to be your casting spoons. It's going to be the yellow and red Rome because that's available at level 1. So casting spoons for this waterway. Narrow spoons you want. Mini bass jigs and crankbaits. Crankbaits not so much. I don't use crankbaits a lot on this waterway at all. I'm a big spinner. But to me, my favorite lure on this waterway is a spinner. I like to hook up a 1/5 ounce, 1/0, with a 2-inch skirt on it, and that does the job for me. It'll catch your pike, it'll catch your bass, it'll catch. Fortunately, it even catches the bowfin. They like it. So as far as a universal lure would go, and I have mine rigged up, so we'll take a look at what I use. But so any of your casting spoons, of course, at that level, you only have option, and that's why most of them are the silver and gold, because you can't even get to the red and white Daredevil until I forget what level that is, but he's up the road a ways before you can even get him to pull him out. But he does great, outperforms the silver and the gold by far. But a casting spoon will work. So needless to say, get yourself a casting spoon on there. And like I said, it's more the hook size than anything on this waterway that I found. So if you get too big, your bite is really going to go down. Now you may get a lot of dings, a lot of hit and misses, what I call hit and runs. Insurance company makes a lot of money down here on these because if you get in there with too big of hooks, that's what's going to happen. Just hit and run. And they're not going to take the bait. So sometimes you do got to drop that. Like I said, I find that 1/0 hook does me just fine all the way across the board for these guys. So that's kind of what we'll be fishing with tonight. All right. What was number 2 on our list? Like silver and gold. The purple, of course, our purple, the amethyst neon or amethyst narrow spoon. That does well here. And mini bass jigs. They work okay. All right, with that, Buck, let's see what we got. Oh, we got 9 minutes to go over your sticks. We can do that. All right. So what weapons am I? Well, basically, I got the same stuff from last week, guys. I really didn't change anything out except for one stick. So I'm still running the 3 bottom rods, 3 lightweight bottom rods here. They call them feeders, all right? Bottom rod. I've got, what do we got on here? Number 2 with shrimp on my 6.5 pound stick. And again, this one here is the one I run with the Inspira, that Inspira Slim 2500. I like that recovery on that guy. So 6.5, 6.4, that's good all around. I'm running 6 pound braid on this, 6 pound braid to, what's my mono? 5.5 mono on the leader. Okay, and this one here, he's the 7 pounder, 7 pound reel, probably running 6 pound here, same deal, 5.5. Okay, this Creek Pro is the 7.5 pounder, running in a 7 pound Crucian Hunter 3500 on that, and 8 pound fluoro with 7.9 pound fluoro. You don't really need to do this at all. I mean, fluoro is fluoro. This is unnecessary, but it make you on some of the sticks. They won't be equipped unless you put a leader on them. What are you gonna do? You know, that's one thing. You know, fishing's fishing. You can put anything on anything you want. Now, whether you break it or not, that's all a different story. But you can still do it. Let me do what I want to do. If it breaks, it breaks. Don't gray it out and tell me I can't even do it. I don't like that. All right, here I said, here's my spinning setup for this waterway. Got the value spin, little 7.5 pounder, again with a Crucian under 4,000, 7.7 on that guy there. I'm probably running 8 pound. No, you went light this week. 7.5 on this. What's the leader? 7.9. I still kept it all strong. All right, and this is the guy I'm talking about. Nano spinner, 1/5 ounce, 1/0, and I run that 2-inch red trailer on him, and this is a sweet little setup for this waterway. It'll do you good. Now another really good lure for down here I've noticed, and if you have access to the club stuff, that's where I'm leading you to. Now this guy you can get away. Now even when you put this lure on here, it's gonna holler. It's too light. Tackle. You're gonna cast short. Well, think of where you're at. We're at Mudwater. You can spin across Mudwater. I don't care if it's short. I'm still going to be able to throw it across the bank. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. And then when you end up throwing this trailer on here, it comes up to weight anyways. So even if it didn't come up to weight, you're not losing that much. Now when you get upper into the higher weight classes, then you'll start to notice the difference if you're putting a real light lure on versus where it should be. All right. Okay. So anything that's got a 1/0, 1/8, here's another good one. It's 1/8, but it's a number one. But you look at the bite chart that I had up there. There's not a big difference between a number one and a 1/0. Not a big difference at all. So just keep that in mind. They're almost interchangeable. So if you're worried about weights, go with your hooks. I want something that's a 1/0. Okay, 1 is just as good as 1/0. So I can get a 1 on there at this weight. That'll work. Okay, so that's how you kind of want to play with these guys. So, and we're good there. So that's we're sitting there with a 1/0, and I'll catch everything tonight on this guy for sure. Our OmniFloat, still have that one with me. So that's my little match rod. You love take that everywhere with you. That's a great little thing. He's got the bread and honey on him, and he's a 7.5, 7.7 on the reel, and I'm probably running 8 pound here. 8 pound here, but no. Okay, bread and honey, and what are we running? Number four with him. Now I changed out from last week. I was running that Thanksgiving. It was a 6-1. It was basically this stick right here. I went back to our regular game stick because I wanted more of the recovery. This is a better setup actually than what comes. So we got the Telefloat here, 21.3, so we can really flip him out there good ways. 6 pounder. I put the 6.4 pound Inspire Slim 2500 on it. I like that on here because gives my reel an extra bit of strength. I only run 6 pound on this anyway, so it's not affecting that. I'm getting that 31.5 recovery out of that. Everything else down in that range, you're talking in the 20s, 23, 21, 20. So this is why I go with the Inspira Slims. They have a better recovery. And again, I'm running 6 pound on this straight up, and we're good to go. And I think I got a number. Yeah, this is my little guy that will hunt. In the beginning, I'm going to hunt that whatever we catch on that. What is he? The blunt nose minnow. So hopefully we'll pick him up. I'm going to try to get all the fish. We've been doing pretty good for the last couple of weeks. You all done? Oh, let's finish this up here. We're good here. Got some broad stands if I need them. We don't need a boat or anything. What size is this? 7.5 pound, 55 pounds. Last week we filled it up though, didn't we, Buck? Let's go over to the garage and change this up to the next higher wheel. pounds, 220, 265, 44, 220. That'll do it. We'll put that one in there. That'll give us enough weight for it. We won't worry about it. All right, that'll take care of that. Okay, buck. That's good. Okay, folks. Well, like I was saying, we've been doing pretty good. We got all the fish in the 2-hour stream in Texas. Got them all at the check. So we're going to see if we can keep the streak around. See if we can grab all these fish up in our 2-hour stream tonight at 8 o'clock. When we're fishing with Buck, see if we can grab them all. Hopefully we can. We'll have Micah with us. Probably. He'll catch a few of them. Alrighty, guys. I hope this helped you out a little bit. If you're just getting ready to head out to Missouri, down there, the good old, and if you're chasing that, and this is also the home of the what's that monster fish here? The dendrofin monster. So I'll point out where I caught mine anyway, where most people catch them. Alrighty, thanks a lot for watching. Never ever give up the fight. Remember, bump that like button on your way out. Right next to the switch. We'll see you here, 8 o'clock. 32 minutes. Never ever give up the fight. We'll see you later.